Alrighty. Oh, Levi, you're already here. Hello. Levi is already here. He's not here anymore, though. Alright, here we go. No more hide and seek this week, that's nice. Give me 1 second, sorry. Okay. You can join. Ale playing Forza today, yes. Sasibaka. PVR. I think I have. I was gonna go here. Hello, hello. Yeah, you can join if you're already friends. Seems like we are. Are we friends though? How y'all doing, Ale? Love you, Levi. Been a great good start to the week so far, or nah? So far, so good. Come on, get off the wall. A bad spot to start. Do I have a racing wheel? I do, but I don't use it for Forza Horizon. Great. Do it. What are the races like today? Alright, here we go. Which wheel is it? GTDD. Oh, I think. Yeah. DDD. I got it basically as soon as it released. If you do exclamation point wheel, it'll show you my setup. I think. Let me try. Pretty sure it used to do that. Yeah, there it is. Oh. Oh, you left. Are you coming? Have I tried GT7? I used to stream it. I played Motorsport or any of the crews. Don't play any of the crews. Played Motorsport for like a month. Or a month and a half. And didn't like it. And then went back to Gran Turismo for a bit. And I haven't played Gran Turismo for a while now. The game's messed up. Don't worry, you can figure it out. Plenty of time. It's only the first of the races tonight, so... Don't have a power build for this, but it is alright. Yeah, this is Hot Wheels, and then the next thing is Rally, so... Plenty of time, plenty of racing tonight. Take your time. Oh, my overlay's not actually working. Did it do it? You don't got the pack? Oh yeah, you don't have Hot Wheels, right? Okay, yeah, just wait then. Yeah, that's why I do Hot Wheels and then I do the rally expansion stuff first, so that people that join me, I don't have to like leave them later on in the stream. But you joined so early in the stream that you're here for this early bit. It's just better, you know what I mean? Like, if I started with like Mexico races and then people joined me for that, and then I have to like, yeah, I gotta finish the Hot Wheels stuff now, so I gotta kick y'all out. You know what I mean? At least that's the way I think about it. Alright, but now you gotta wait a little bit. I apologize. Oh god. Yeah, so if you look back into my past content on YouTube outlay, you'll see my GT7 stuff. I'm considering maybe trying it again, or getting back into it. But currently I'm obsessed with other games. And it especially got bad because they started introducing more tuning into the daily races, which I have no idea how to do. And I know from a fact that when I had like a viewer that watched me give me like some good tunes, like I did much better in the races. It feels kind of annoying that they added tuning to it. Plus I only play 2 days a week, so I really kind of relied on viewers to help me out on like if there was strategy involved or whatever. But yeah. War Liege 20, hello, welcome. Is Botrick still doubling chat? Oh, he's not doubling chat. Wait, we're okay. Let's use this chat. Heck yeah. I'm just gonna kick you out again. Do custom teams in this game? I don't. Why is my Controller overlay so delayed right now. Oh, it's gone. Bit finicky, this one. Okay, cool. We're back. Yeah, I just can't be... It's not my play style to like sit there and try to figure out the tunes. I just generally just download stuff. It's not something I like. I'm super passionate about learning. I'd just rather do the... would so much rather do the racing itself. Which is exactly why the GT7 tuning for daily races isn't my cup of tea. Even though it's already better than Motorsport. I've got to find like a spreadsheet or something of like the good tunes. But it's also like track dependent, so yeah. Which is why it's also kept me from trying ACC online, because tunes are so important there. Apparently you can just use the aggressive preset and it'll get you like, people say like 80% of the way there, but you can I still see people like getting an extra like 2 seconds off of the, compared to the aggressive setting on like a good tune. Online, so of course it's like because the game's so competitive that people like legit keep stuff secret, right? So because it's a bit more serious than Gran Turismo, quite a bit more serious, not a bit. Like a lot of some like real life money on the line sometimes. The racing that occurs there. Think about publishing some of mine. I mean, you're also like publishing into like a lot of like competition, essentially, because like there's a lot of already well-established tuners out there in Horizon 5. I mean, you can practice your skills and stuff like that here in this game, but then maybe strive for getting more of your tune downloads in Horizon 6. Let me know if the music is a bit loud. I just couldn't hear it, so I raised the volume. I can't hear my own. On my side, like my own mic. Wait, what? Bit of speaking about games I want to play. I think I want to play Dispatch at one point. some point. Although there's probably no reason for me to play because I watched all the playthroughs of it already, but it'd be nice to play it on my own as well. How's everybody doing today? Is the week starting off well for you guys? Nice. All right, we're done with Hot Wheels. Okay. Alright, but up here... Oh, perfect. TVR is great here. It's already dirt. I don't mind actually. I don't get to drive this tune very often because it's too good online. Okay, this is road. What? I need to get a tune for these. I'm surprised I don't have a tune for them. Oh, it's because they ended up in A class. Got any base map? Yeah, I'm doing the expansions first, so I still have this set of races to do. After this, I'll be back in Mexico. I gotta actually find a tune for this. What the frick is this update? What was the code? It was better before when I didn't have game bar. So you can't see Jack. No, my memory of the C30 is from Twilight movie. I remember. Because it was like the main car in Twilight. I didn't even watch the movie, but like I know it was in there because of the trailers and stuff. Also like in some clips. That's how I remember this. Yeah, I would say like the Hot Wheels expansion is pretty meh in the long term. It was fun the first time, like the first couple hours, because it was like pretty novel when you could like you're playing on the tracks and you have like the speed boost and like the loop-de-loops. But it wears off pretty quick because it's like novelty wears off pretty quick because a lot of the track is like pretty straight and it's just like you're just full throttle the whole way. Like it's cool that the speed you get to with the boosters, but this game doesn't really hype up high speed anyway. It's not a game that really has a great sense of speed in general because it's like it leans towards like I'm saying like way too much. It leans towards realism a bit more. Things go by quick, but it's not like Need for Speed Shift. You know, there's like the bar, I would say, where like track racing that feels super violent almost. You get a great sense of speed, but it's basically robbing you of vision at that point. The higher speed you get. Like things are shaking all over the place, everything's blurry. Oops, almost missed the checkpoint again. Pulled the handbrake there though. Popped me right on the next one. That's nice. Front-wheel drive, B-class dirt. Interesting. Okay, that was a bit sketchy. On over the hill there. Sorry, bumping you guys. It's surprising how good the performance is, but I guess it makes sense. A lot of geometry being rendered. The skybox, basically. We're in the middle of nowhere, which is the best. I thought Forza Horizon 6 is going to be much harder to run in general because you get way more buildings everywhere because it's just like more scenery and stuff in Japan. Ow. Oh, I don't know what that was like a little gut reaction from basically being stopped dead. Trying to make that turn. How much power am I making? 200. Damn. The front wheels in the dirt. Surprisingly gripping. I'm legitimately surprised. Oh well, this car's putting the power down. Doesn't even feel understeery at all. Maybe it's because the rear is also loose. In this case, because it's dirt. It's not like the rear can overpower the front. That's generally what happens. Ooh, nice. Wow, the car is really dirty. All right, that should be it. Oh wait, no, there's one more race right here. Sorry, I got you too excited. Levi was like, "Oh, I'm done. Just enjoying." Sorry, but my bad. have off-road tires, so it's not as stable as you would like on the road, but you kind of feel it floating a little bit to the ground. This area is hard to render for the game because you see you have like the rocks on all sides. Like once you get into the creek, that's the worst. But I don't think this area has it. It's like across the way over there. You can be completely surrounded by the mountains, then performance tanks. Times like this, you're happy that you have variable refresh rate. You don't get tearing from the frame rate drops and stuff. A little bit of a hop to cut through there. Yeah, but like the heads up, Levi, I'm gonna be doing the the event labs first. After this race, that's generally what I do, like on the event lab island. And then from there, I'll do the actual event labs. In Mexico. Then go through whatever like challenges I need to do for like this car specific stuff I gotta do. Yeah. No worries, take your time. Wait, is the car I haven't taken a picture of? 3 laps of this? I'm gonna be a bit rude here just to get through it. Okay. Oh god, I wasn't looking. I thought I had till the end of that straight. Alright, at least better than your friend. I have probably played more than most people, so I would say I'm above average. Thanks for the compliment. I don't actually know how well your friend plays, so who knows? I've never played with your friend, so I wouldn't know. Welcome, by the way. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Fine evening for me at least. It'll be morning for you guys. Who knows? Just too bad at every game. Every single game, huh? Sucks to be him, but some people are like that. They're just not built for gaming. But there are games for those guys too. Not for competitive gaming. There's Genshin Impact. A bunch of like single player game stuff that they can always play. A game for everyone. Every level. Afternoon for you. I see. What else you got planned for the rest of today then? Whoa. Run wide here, not have to slow down so much on the exit. A study whole day of exams. Why are you here? Go back to studying. Ace those exams, brother. I appreciate you being here. Taking a break though. You've got 340 hours on this game. A lot, actually. Most of that time driving or just like tuning and stuff? Just too distracted. Okay, that's Event Lab. Island, at least. Back to the mainland. Do something with this. Alright. Event Lab stuff. Ooh. Where am I from? I'm in Canada at the moment. We'll be moving to the States this year, likely for work, so not sure when. The whole visa process is taking longer than expected. We're kind of just waiting. At the moment. Assuming this is road. That's a track toy? Okay, I'll take it. Not sure about that one, but you know what? That's okay. Software engineers also travel for work? No, it's just my team has been moved to the States and I'm one of the last guys still remaining in Canada because I was the only person to run into immigration issues. I was also the last to kind of apply for it. Actually, I wasn't, but I just got unlucky. Which brand? I haven't ever revealed that. I likely won't reveal that unless I get fired or this becomes my full-time job or something. But what I can say is that it's a big tech company that anybody in the world will know the name of. One of those. A random car. Man, that's okay. I got the carry, bro. No worries. Kills YT YouTube Night Riders. Hello, hello. Will I join you? Yeah, feel free. Use the exclamation point gamer tag command in chat on YouTube, and then I'll give you my gamer tag, and then you can add me as a friend, and I'll invite you. That is the min bar. I need you to add me as a friend. It's almost like a aptitude test. You must be able to do that in order to play with me. And I'm not even joking about that. I kind of laugh about it, but like there's legitimately different people that don't know how to add me as a friend. I haven't included them. It's exclamation point gamer tag, not exclamation point ad. And I'm not on PS. I'm on Xbox, so it wouldn't be PSN anyway. I'm not actually on an Xbox. I'm on PC, but you know what I mean. There you go. Xenox got you. Appreciate it, Xenox. Yeah, pretty happy. Lucky to have a job at the moment. No matter kind of what company you're at right now, honestly. Having a job in this economy is a W. Yeah, but it's all like cross. It's all crossplay anyway. You carried. I mean, yeah. So you're bad, no worries. Since you are in a well-known company, you must be earning really good. Yeah. I'm doing well enough for myself. And I'm definitely lucky. I'm privileged and all that kind of stuff. I know. All right. Did you send me a friend request already or no? Actually, I'll give you some time. I need a bathroom here real quick. I'm definitely privileged and like I don't have to worry about money, you know what I mean? I think that's the big thing, right? Like a lot of people can't say that, right? Where they're legitimately worrying about money and costs, and I feel for them for sure, but are you actually sending me something? I haven't received anything yet. Let's see Baka. Alright, you're gonna have to figure that out, guys. How do you add me? The easiest way, honestly, if you're on PS, is to use either the Xbox app on your phone, from what I understand, or you can use a website. You can search it up. I can link you a... oh wait, 1 second. Do the car first. Horizon 5 PS5 add friend. There you go. I can't look for it right now. I used to have an article I can link. It teaches people technically, but honestly, the easiest way is to go on the Xbox.com or something. If you have like a PC or whatever, or use the Xbox app, because you have a Microsoft account now. You have to play this game. Or use download the app on your phone. That's generally what I'd recommend. I earn enough, that's only what matters. Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely like good. Very fortunate. And I understand that I'm like in the top, you know, earners in the world and much above average, more than likely. But I also know that I'm generally it's kind of hilarious because I'm talking to my coworkers sometimes and they're talking about like, oh, taxes and like trying to avoid and like all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, they're like trying to like nickel dime a lot of things at times with our wage and complaining about how they're not getting paid enough sometimes. And I was like, and they were like, oh, if only I could afford a house. And I was like, how much more do you want to earn? Like, yeah, it's gonna be a significant chunk of your wage, your pay, if you want to, like, you know, actually get into the housing market now with a mortgage or whatever. Like, housing is expensive, but you're like, you're here at this big company earning good money, and you're like complaining about how you're not getting paid enough. So like, I wish I could own a house. Eh? And then you find out like they're like, and then you start wondering, it's like, why? And then like, I wish I could afford this and this. It's like, technically you could. You just saved all your money and like threw it all into that instead. And then you find out they all have like multiple, like they have like gym memberships, a bunch of other expenses that they have, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, you know, that seems like a lifestyle choice. You're spending is showing your lifestyle choice. Of course, after your lifestyle choices, the money you're spending there, you're not gonna have money for a house. That's rent. You're renting right now. If you cut out the rent and start saving and like not cut back, you know. But I don't know. Those guys are never gonna be like, of course some people are gonna be like, oh, they'll go far or whatever because they have the hungry mentality, you know, they always want to earn more and stuff like that. And like, yeah, I'm not gonna say no to earning more and all that kind of stuff, but it's not like 100% top priority for me. Sometimes it seems like it is for them. Although I am privileged enough that I'm not renting at the moment because I'm living at home. Hello, Madeline. Hope I'm doing fine. Yeah, sorry, I can't read. I was about to read your thing, but I'm kind of driving at the moment. But Madeline233, thanks for the follow, my dude. Hope you enjoy the stream as much as I enjoy streaming it. Welcome. Appreciate the support. A little bit of a straight there, so I could glance off. You're way too fast compared to others. I mean, it's because it's AI. I'm literally out of like the people, my friend that come and play with me on stream and stuff like that, I'm like the slowest out of all of them, so it's all about perspective. The more you want to show, the more you spend. Yeah, there's like that. There's also like some lifestyle choices, right? Like they eat out more. Like they eat out a lot. They don't cook. They don't prep their own meals. I know a guy that complains the most about it. He's like, oh, it's just like, he has like the worst. Like apparently like he got sick one day eating like a full box of popsicles or something for dinner or whatever. He was complaining about it. I was like, I feel like you have problems. There are other problems to solve there. Alright, give me 1 second. Let me get this LFA stuff done. Do I like racing games? Yeah. I'm playing less of them now because I have other things that kind of come up that I'm like into at the moment. But I like cars. I like racing games. I used to play a bit more. I used to also play Gran Turismo 7. At some point, I played F1. Yeah, and I still have the wheel, so I could get back to it whenever I can. But Forza is kind of like a safe game because it's less commitment, pretty casual. So I'm coming back to this. Yeah, I'm a car guy. So. Also games. The natural sort of cross-section is racing games, yeah. Two road circuit races. Okay, we're just doing freaking ovals. Gonna do ovals twice, guys. Pinnacle of racing. Probably before I do this, actually. I'm not even gonna make this. I'm just gonna make this easy. Now we want to deal with it. Dumb. Oh, the software engineer it would do. Oh, excuse me. Just like software development. So, and since I work at a bigger company, you're not like coming up with anything new. Just get you have a team of people that generally like owns a specific feature or a specific product, like a chunk, and then you're just tasked with like always solving like existing issues because no software comes out perfect. There's always like corners cut because either the technology wasn't there before or like or like there was like a time constraint, so they made choices that could deliver the product, but in some state, and then they were gonna like fix the bugs or whatever later. So then there's always like improvements. So you're looking at like improvements there, and then you're always trying to scale up in the sense that you want, support more things so that you can get more customers to use your product. So you're always like expanding, trying to like figure out a way to support more people. Assuming that your product's successful. If your product's not successful, then you're kind of on the chopping block next time there's a layoff or whatever, right? But assuming your product like has customers and all that kind of stuff, and you're looking at scaling up, you're looking at new features that like existing customers are requesting, or new customers are potentially saying that, oh, well, start using your product if it can do this or something. So you're kind of doing that, and then you're always like in maintenance mode for whatever you have existing, because no testing or whatever is going to discover all the issues. So you're always going to discover kind of new things to fix and things to improve. As technology improves, right, like hardware itself improves, so you can like looking at supporting newer hardware or like change up your existing code to be, and then sometimes you need to change how your code looks or the programs are how they are, and like in the most basic sense to like be updated to leverage the new hardware. Yeah, there's like a lot of testing and stuff like that involved. So that's generally what it is. You're working on software and doing all of that. Yeah. Mostly like racing games. The car I have, I race it a lot too. Oh, you race in IRL? That's cool. Yeah, I wish there was a track nearby I live, but I don't have anything. It'd be cool to go to like an open track day at some point. But user friendly. User friendliness is honestly like depends on what you're given. Cause like some, like let's just say for example, right? Facebook, right? There's gonna be a team that's like only potentially looking at a feature. Like their whole team is in charge of, let's say, some type of like messaging protocol, or like how the back end, like how the software or messenger works. There's also going to be another team that's in charge of like the UI side, like how do people actually type on it, what, like where the buttons are. Like there's a full another team. Like usually in companies that big, you don't have one team, like just one messenger team. You likely have a whole organization of teams that handle messenger as a product, and then within messenger it splits off. So talking about like user friendliness and stuff is likely like depends on the team you're on. Drag card not the way to go. You're right. There is 2 corners in an oval. And then it's like a lot of like in the big companies, it's also like internal tools as well that you develop for other teams to use. So like an example of this is that let's use maybe like what's a good example I can think of? Like maybe like let's say like Tesla or something, right? Not all the software engineers are going to be like focused on the specific software in the car, right? Some team internally is going to be like, oh, they're in charge of developing the software they use to engineer and design new parts for the cars. So that other teams that use, so then like other teams, like maybe a team that's like in charge of the safety systems can leverage that tool, or the wheel design team can use that tool, or whatever. And then that's, you have a whole team trying to dedicate it to that. It's never customer facing, like truly externally customer facing, because it's actually like not directly part of the car. You know what I mean? Game bugged. Checkers. No worries. I can get this done. And then team. Kind of like those are general terms. I want to correct that as well. I'm kind of nitpicking because this is my subject matter. Backend usually means even more backend in this case. You're right in the general sense that technically like there's support team kind of referring to, like that's in a hand wavy sense you can say that that's backend. In the computer science space, generally backend even means more deeper, like closer to the hardware side. So people might be like talking about databases or whatever. You're correct. You're right. I don't want to actually be. There's actually nothing wrong with your statement. I was just kind of adding some clarity to it. Like some internal tools even are considered still front end tools in a way. But it's like front end, back end is such a hand wavy generalized term. Honestly, only like I feel good representation that front end, back end is like its perfect terms to describe is a website, right? So a website, the customer or the front end is the actual website that people see, right? And the people in charge of the website itself, like how it looks and all that kind of stuff, that would be front end. How it functions, the stuff like the special animations or whatever that are there and the functionality there. But the people, let's say, storing, let's just call it like if it's like a news website or like a recipes website. Back end would be the people figuring out like the database that stores the recipes, like all the data and how it's how the website is hosted and all that kind of stuff. That would be back end. That's the purest form of front end, back end separation. Outside of that, it's kind of tough to say like, oh, is my product really a front end or back end? Can be kind of a murky thing. I'm kind of nerding out though. Like, you feel free to keep me from yapping. In like 30, because I gotta wake up in an hour. 50 from now. Wait, what? Let's go to bed now. I'm still awake. You gotta wake up in an hour 50. I feel worse after. If you get under an hour, then you're gonna feel worse when you wake up. At that point, you might as well just like chug a Red Bull and not sleep. If you sleep now, you at least feel somewhat better. I appreciate you playing with me, but yapping this time because right now the one asking. Because you're the one asking. I don't know how I feel about kind of self-centered way of thinking, brother. JK. Yeah, so that's generally what software engineers do, depending on the team. Another pure example would probably be like Amazon, right? Or even Microsoft. But they both have cloud services, right? Microsoft has Azure, Amazon has AWS. So the front end, and they both have front ends, right? Like Microsoft has like actual customer-facing products directly, like Office, you know, OneDrive. You have Hotmail, whatever it's called now, Mail, Outlook, Mail, like all those apps. And there's also Windows itself, like the operating system, right? And then Amazon, of course, has their shop, their online store. That would be front end, right? And then the cloud stuff would, you could summarily say that it's all like back end supporting the website side, right? But in a weird way, it's kind of tough because the cloud services like Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, a lot of their, like, technically their customers is other websites that use their cloud processing, right? Like, you know, like other companies, like potentially, Forza even, right? Forza as a game, they might use one of the cloud services to host their servers or whatnot. In that case, even though technically some of that service is a backend to the website, so let's like Microsoft Azure is technically the back end of Microsoft Office, as it supports Microsoft Office, but because technically Azure, like their cloud services, is also one of their customers is Forza, because they buy you know, time for them to host their servers and like stuff, and maybe even storage, all that kind of stuff, cloud storage. And then at that point, then technically you could call those products front end. And then there's an even further back end in that case, because the people, you know, if you get into the weeds of it, there's actually like networking things, right? Like talking about cloud computing is like how does each person, like each player, let's say if they're hosting their if Forza's hosting their servers on Microsoft Cloud, then how does each network, like how does the network handle and deal with like all these players are trying to hit these servers, how they split the servers and stuff like that. There's like these things called load balancing problems where, like, if you think about it, there's probably multiple servers and stuff like that, and how do you load balance, as the name suggests, between them with like millions of players and stuff like that, millions of connections. And then that would be like even a supporting thing for the server itself, which would even maybe further back end, which is why like this front end back end thing is like not super clear when it comes to software engineering. I'm trying to finish this thing where I just have to drive 20 miles. Give me 1 second. I'll be done soon. And then I still have to do the single player stuff. I'll get back to it. Learn new things day by day or month by month. Get old, you might not be able to catch everything. The thing is, in software engineering, yeah, like stuff moves fast and all that kind of stuff. But the higher up you go, the less you have to care about individual like upgrade or differences and stuff like that. Because other than, let's say, this whole AI thing, which I don't think is going anywhere, generally, no matter how upgraded things are or whatever, the principles stay the same. What I mean by that is, no matter kind of what happens, like let's say like new hardware comes out or new programming language or whatever is super important, like huge upgrade and like performance, or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that the bottlenecks stay the same. Like let's say, yeah, now you can support like 2 million instead of 1 million people potentially or whatever, to simplify, but it doesn't change the fact that we still have to decide or find a way to handle 2 million, like the extra 1 million people, and the structures and stuff like that don't change much. There might be new strategies to do it, but just the problem that stays the same. And as you get further up in like as you climb the corporate ladder, you're getting more and more removed from like the individual coding things, and you're just like looking at overall strategy and stuff like that. So unless your career completely stalls and you stay a junior the whole time, you end up coding less and less the higher up you go. And in that case, you're more just keeping up with like some trends maybe, or like keeping track of like what improvements there are. And you're kind of like more in a identifying what needs to change place, rather than trying to keep up with what's out there kind of phase, if that makes sense. Backend are the ones managing data and stuff. You could generalize it kind of like that. It's the stuff that people don't see that is important for the software to function. The underlying features, or not features, like underlying tools. You need to rank up as much as you can when you're energetic and young. Kind of, yeah. Once you work at a bigger company, stuff doesn't move that fast. Honestly, like, I'm not super worried about this whole thing. Like, oh, you're not keeping up. If you're not keeping up, you'll be fired. Let's just say that. Like, it doesn't take that much to, like, be kept up, is what I'm saying. It's like, even like the old age or whatever is not really gonna change anything unless like you're slacking off. I don't think you'll ever find yourself suddenly falling behind or whatever is what it's not something I like really worry about, especially these days when you can kind of like there's like the thing AI is good at is like helping you like understand new things and new programming languages and stuff like that. Even that is like slightly quite kind of helpful now. So like makes keeping up almost like easier. But with a good sort of even without AI or whatever, with some good Googling methods and stuff like that, you'll get everything you need. Jag. I want specifically the F type. Just so. Yeah, to be fair, I haven't really thought that much about my future career stuff too far. Because generally, there's kind of two ways you can go about it. When it comes to career in software engineering, it's like you can either continue being an engineer and just like get more and more senior as an engineer, and then people just come to you for overall architecture and like overall strategy and all that kind of stuff, and you just review a bunch of stuff, give advice and all that kind of stuff on multiple projects. It's in the middle? Can't tell, bro. How do I know? It's like on a piece of green, but I don't know where that green is. Oh, it's right here. It is in the center. Great. It's either you do that, or you could like eventually transition over to be manager of a team. And you transition, like you completely move away from the engineering side, kind of. You still need the engineering know-how because a little bit, but you're basically not looking at any code. You're just basically you're assigning tasks, and like your expertise comes down to like being able to accurately judge how long something's gonna take and how complex it is, and like being able to judge whether something's possible. So you can manage the team well. Some people love that. Like they aim to eventually get there. I know a friend of mine who wants to do that. Eventually move over to the managerial side, and you're like more tracking timelines and all that kind of stuff. More than anything, tracking timelines, communicating with other teams, trying to like figure out if you can get more customers, reaching out to them potentially, reaching out to other internal teams, doing a lot of communication. Yeah. So there's kind of two ways to do it, and then you can also move up in the managerial side. Some people like that, where you like start managing like the individual product team, and eventually you'll be like managing a whole organization that has multiple teams, and then eventually you get like higher up technically, though I'm not sure how easy it is to get, like, eventually, technically, if you really think about it, you could get the CEO or whatever, but I don't think that's really realistic in large companies. Unless you basically have no life. Management stuff, exactly, yeah. Managing your team's time, yeah. Let's do scout, why not? I ain't playing online right now. I'll have to be ashamed of using meta. Do I have a wife? No, I'm single, bro. No stick women in my life. I don't think I'd be able to stream this late at night if I had a wife. Play games this late at night. So if I stop streaming, you guys know what happened. Be happy for me, I guess. You know what's up. Miss me after that. Mayhaps, mayhaps. Do. Yeah, honestly, never had much luck during school and all that kind of stuff. Some like close flings potentially, but never a girlfriend. So currently not really thinking about it. I've also like already like imagined myself being like the cool rich uncle that's like a bachelor uncle, because like all my cousins are married and have kids, or will have kids. Soon, like they're pregnant and all that kind of stuff already. So I'm like behind, although I am the youngest cousin, but still. But yeah, I'm like kind of comfortable doing that. I might my significant other currently is my car. I might end up spending quite a bit of money on that. That's where my money's going into, likely. Nice car. I already currently have a very nice car, but I might want to get to like end game that I'll never upgrade ever again. Kind of type of deal. Potentially, it's in the cards. Save for multiple years and basically screw trying to get a house or whatever in the near term, next 10 years or whatever. But honestly, the car I have currently is already end game. It's just like whether I want to waste a bunch of money to get like super end game, be done with it. I think we go for data science. Yeah, if you want to get into the AI field and stuff like that. Other fields, computer science. If you want to, like, data science is a lot of like still crunching numbers and all that kind of stuff generally. Like if you want to get into the AI space, which is popping right now, I would like definitely do a lot more research about this whole AI stuff if you want to get into data science, because even without AI, of course, it's still gonna be always useful because there's just so much data in the world at the moment. So it's never gonna be bad. But if you're thinking about like right now is really hot, it's definitely gonna cool off, in my opinion, because this AI thing is not gonna last too long. All the companies are burning money right now doing it. I'm not like fully caught up on what the next big thing is though. Comp sci outside of AI right now, which is the hottest thing. The generalized software engineering will always have a place because the world just needs software no matter what these days with the digital age. Like we're gonna transition away from digital to something else. I mean, if we do, like, what, great, but you know. Hope you find someone great who take care of you. Aw, thank you, bud. If it's possible. Nice car, nice skin, all I have. I'm not a nice girl. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Yeah, I'm not like I would be satisfied with the car I have for the rest of my life. Like I would be more than satisfied. Just that after I got told we were moving to the States, I get paid more, so like then my eyes open. It's like, oh, if I like save for it, because like it went from like basically dumping 3-4 years of salary into a car. Like 3-4 years of savings, sorry, not pure salary, but like actually no, it would be closer to 4. It's like 3 years worth of salary into the car. It now is closer to like 2 to 3 years, so it became like slightly less unobtainable, even though it's still a bad use of money. So we started thinking about it. Get off. Alright, thanks for playing, Levi. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed playing with me. I enjoyed playing with you. Hopefully you had fun too. ChatGPT. I mean, it's not bad as long as not hallucinating anything. It's hard to say. Generally, if you're asking it about like trends, then it should be okay. If you're not asking for hard facts, you're good to go there. But yeah, not more than the more I think about it, the more data science seems like more surefire-ish in my mind than anything. Because everything is going to need data science, but it's like AI, of course, is one of the main drivers. But if you're not going into machine learning specifically, then even if AI goes away, like data science will still be big data, as you have said, still going to be useful. You'll play next time? Yeah, sounds good. Forward to it. I'm gonna be playing more Forza this week. Again, eventually. Maybe tomorrow. Damn, 3 to 4 months saving. Years. I'm talking about years. Sorry, not months. I spent basically a year's worth. Year or two worth. I don't want to get into too specific. Plus, like, I got a signing. Don't crash. Oh, it crashed. Ah. Ray tracing crashed my freaking game. But my current car already cost me like 1 year, basically. I was like contemplating whether I wanted to do immediately go to like 340, but then my mom was like, no. That type of like amount of money, don't do it. Just get the 1 year. 1 year plus whatever, signing bonus, whatever. Oh, yeah. So we didn't think about it in years. It's closer to like, it's like the amount of money it would. I calculated up like how long of my life I had to give up. Essentially, I pay for that car. It came out to like about a year to two, 1 to 2 years. My mom's like, yeah. And then if you like get it, like run into money or not run into like if you come upon some money in the future, then you can think about okay, but like. Realistically, this is more car than I'll ever need anyway, but... planning to learn new things, get some skills. College to land a good internship. Yeah, I mean, any type of computer job right now, specifically in the next couple months, is tough. Because, like, everybody's so focused on the AI stuff.
Welcome back, Master Chief.
Like the job market and like the current economy is tough. I feel like don't know how much history you know about software stuff about the world, but essentially in 04 there was this thing called the dot-com bubble. It was like when websites anything with a website with a .com, any company was like super popular and like making a bunch of money because like a bunch of investors all like believed in it, and it was a bubble. It popped in 2004, but what ended up happening was that because it popped and then like everybody like all these tech companies are like laid off and like shrunk and all that kind of stuff, a lot of people, like people that were going to comp sci immediately switched to other things, right? Because they thought there's no future in computer science to continue down that path, or if they start that path, right? But fast forward, right? Because the demand for software engineering never, like, it dipped because it was too high before, but eventually all came back because there's always going to be a need for software as the internet got more and more popular, and then like there's more and more software in our lives, more smartphones and stuff like that, more and more software. Because the people initially in response looked away from computer science and stuff like that, there ended up being a shortage of labor in this market, and then we really got to see it kind of 10 years later where people were signing huge signing bonuses to like get software engineers and stuff like that hired, and then like a bunch of benefits, and then now people are scaling back again because there's an oversupply because everybody's doing computer science again. And looking ahead at this whole AI thing, like once this pops, people might like in response stop studying comp sci again. So in another 5 to 10 years again, you're gonna get like another shortage potentially. And then I just want to say, like, if you want to do comp sci, at the end of the day, you have to enjoy it in some fashion. You have to have like some type of interest in it. As much I know how stupid it is to always be like, oh, pursue your dreams and whatever. And it is kind of stupid for some things, right? Like, especially if you're just like a passing hobby, you're not like fully passionate about it. So I don't actually believe in the whole thing about only study what you're interested in, because if you end up with like, a geography degree, like what are you actually going to do with it? You might as well like look for, if you are interested in geography, you should look at things that are like geography tangential that you can maybe do. I don't know, some type of manager, like look for business or managerial stuff, but then go for a managerial position or whatever at geography focused like company or whatever, if you really want to do that, stuff like that. But anyway, I digress. That's like off on a tangent. But what I'm trying to say is that if you want to go into comp sci and you're passionate about it, in the long term, I think it's fine. Even at the current economic level, but get ready for some hardship in the next year or two, a couple years, because we're definitely oversupplied on it at the moment. But in the long run, we'll be okay, I think. Unless somehow AI just takes over, which I doubt. And there's also the fact that even if AI does take off, it's in a weird situation. I don't know if people talk about this, but it's like basically the way people are thinking about this is like AI isn't gonna replace the menial jobs, right? Like the easy stuff, like the junior developers or whatever on the software side. So, but what this means is that like the more senior people, they still need to be there because they have to drive this AI, right? Because they have to monitor their results and all that kind of stuff. They have to like prompt it correctly and like correct it or whatever. So you ended up with eventually. So then the more senior you get, you can't be fired, right? Unless the AI gets so good that even those people can be replaced. But that's later down the line, I guess. Supposing that AI gets good enough to even actually replace people in the first place. But anyway, what do you think? The thing is, in the long term, think about this. How did those seniors, the more senior engineers, senior people on staff, how did they get there? Right? They didn't come out of college and was a senior. Nobody does. Right? So everybody was a junior developer to start. They learned and like kind of developed their way up and became a senior staffer, right? What happens if you replace all the juniors with AI? Like, people aren't getting younger. Eventually, your senior staff will age away and they'll retire. Where are you gonna get the new senior staff? Like, really think about this, right? So, all these companies saying like, oh, we'll replace the junior people. It's like, you can't not hire the junior people though, because you have to like train those juniors and give those guys a chance to like develop and become senior level employees. Not all of them will, right? Some people are perpetually going to be like mid-level or whatever, but you still need to continue hiring. And so it's like you can't just chop off the hiring. So at that point, what you're thinking is like, okay, so does it actually make business sense to like invest in all this AI stuff if I still have to hire the junior stuff? We're already having this issue now, right? Like where people are asking, it's like, oh, this is an entry-level position, but you need 3 years of experience for it. It's like, how am I supposed to get that experience, brother? I literally came fresh out of college. Yeah, I will grow the more help we get with it in our basic things and compute them. Obviously, someone needs to maintain. Yeah. So, like, the seniors will become senior citizens as well as just being high up in the company. And then they'll retire, right? So... But like companies aren't really like, it doesn't really make much sense, but I guess like people, all the companies view as like the short-term benefits, right? Like, because before all the seniors become seniors for like maybe 10 odd years or something, maybe that's conservative considering like extra workload it takes to babysit all these AI generations and stuff like that. That probably is like harder work for the seniors to handle. So like people are looking so short term, because in the short term, yeah, if you can fire a bunch of juniors, if you can replace them with AI, supposedly. Right? Like, but then as they age out, like where are you getting the seniors from? You can only, every company does this. Like, you're not special, right? You have to think about this. Every software company will do this because it's the competitive advantage or whatever, right? But nobody is going to be like, oh, we refuse to take up AI because it's whatever. Like, every company is going to do this. And once every company does that, then nobody's hiring juniors. All those guys are now like, you know, jobless. Like that were studying comp sci, and then they're like flipping burgers now. Or whatever. Like, that's like an extreme example. And then you can't hire straight seniors because everybody's not hiring juniors and not developing new senior positions, more expert positions. So like the other argument, some people are saying, oh yeah, I'll just hire other seniors directly from like other companies. Like, if nobody, like eventually, like that might work if you like, for the biggest companies to pay a bunch of money to like poach people over, right? Like maybe like smaller companies, senior staff, they can see like a huge signing bonus and a bunch of benefits, then they'll come over to like one of the bigger companies or whatever. But that only occurs if, it only works if those smaller companies also don't decide to go full AI as well, because eventually you'll run out of people. Even those guys will get old, you know? And then what happens then? So like you can't stop hiring junior staff. I don't even know what the value proposition in the long term is, like with this whole AI stuff. Especially for like big corporations. Technically, if you do autonomous driving or whatever, yeah, I can see that, like replacing taxis in general. Like, it sucks for the taxi drivers, but and those guys can, well, those guys are screwed if they didn't learn other things. But if they're passionate about driving, then I guess that's sad. Can only, not everybody can race for a living, you know. people don't have to drive potentially. Like they could do something else during for the time or whatever. So there's some benefit there. I can see that. But in the sort of corporate world, does it make sense? In a flat world, yeah, like, you know, there are no senior taxi drivers. You know what I mean? So there's some things that can kind of like AI can kind of almost fully replace. Although I think that AI will never get good enough to replace actual drivers, really. My take on the whole autonomous driving thing is unless all cars on the road are autonomously driven, like no real drivers are there, it'll never work. Humans are just too unpredictable. Some bad driver will like, if there's even one bad driver on the road, things will be screwed. Like that guy will cause like all the incidents. All the crashes. Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating. If there was only one human, that was fine. But like, you know, that's never going to be the case, right? Unpaid internship, lol. Then you predict you need experience. Yeah, exactly, bro. Even internships need experience now. Relevant experience. They can't be like, it used to be like you could have some summer job stuff, or you're maybe teaching summer school or whatever, younger kids, like quasi relevant, you know, because like I could be teaching. I taught like at a coding summer camp. Technically, it's kind of tangential. Comp sci. There's also like being a waiter, but like a lot of that should still display soft skills. Should still be considered. Everything will mess up. Yeah, I mean, maybe you can call it cope because I get to keep my job if this whole thing pops. So that I will admit I have an innate bias. I want them to fail. Although I want them to fail in more than just the fact that I want to keep my job. I also want the freaking RAM prices to come back down and GPU prices. I'm just mad at all this stuff that's caused by AI right now. Like energy costs going up, blah, 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 blah. Like I hate it. I will not pretend I don't have a bias there. How many internships did I do? I was really lucky. I basically none. I technically I got out of uni, and give me one sec. This is dirt though, right? Not dirt. This road. I guess. Well, that's self-centered. But yeah, getting back to the whole internship thing. What essentially happened was I came out of uni. Of course, I graduated like April, right? April, May. Couldn't find a job for a while. The job market was pretty crap. Or maybe I just didn't have the right credentials because I didn't have like a summer internship ever. I did have, like, as I mentioned, like summer jobs. I didn't like just stay at home not doing anything. I think that's quite bad. Definitely to try to get a summer job, even if it's not like relevant, I'd say, because it still shows like soft skills or whatever. As I mentioned, communications and stuff like that, things that aren't directly related to the job but still important. Anyways, so I only had like summer job experience with that, like with one summer where I taught a coding camp, summer school, or summer camp. But not much relevant experience, so maybe there's a bit of that and stuff like that. But regardless, I eventually found like bottom of the barrel-ish in like September. The listing itself said it was supposed to be an internship. And I got the job. It was a 7-month contract. Basically, I showed up. It wasn't an internship. Like, because it was a startup company where it's like completely flat structure, where basically everybody is like all the software developers are all at one level, and there's like a boss. Everybody's junior, basically. Everybody's fresh out of university except for like one guy, I think. Although I'm pretty sure that guy is too, but that guy was weird. He was also working at like he worked there, but he was working for like a different company over the like remotely or whatever, but from this company. I'm not sure what the deal is. I think potentially like his father or whatever was invested in the company or whatever, so his son could use like the company computers or whatever to do work. I don't know what. I don't actually know what the situation with the guy was, and so there's no use explaining it. Regardless, basically, I think even he was like fresh out of university. So this guy basically only hires fresh out of college, university students, and has a bunch of them, and like there's a lot of rotations where it's like if they leave or whatever after a couple months, then he just hires new ones and whatnot. Basically what I found out was that the job listing was technically an internship, but then like 2 days in, I was told to start developing a new feature for their Android app or whatever. So it was like listed online, and job listing was an internship, but I essentially, once I did that, then I started basically doing a lot of the Android app development, and it was like directly customer facing stuff, no training or whatever. So it wasn't really an internship. And then I did that for 7 months. Immediately knew I didn't want to stay there. A scummy boss as well on top of that. It was just a bad environment. Looking back on it, I'm grateful in a way that I got to experience it, because I know how bad it can get. But I didn't quit early. I told myself I was going to do the full contract. I just didn't renew my contract or extend it. And for how scummy it is, so I have plenty of examples. I can yap all about it if you're curious about all the stuff that this boss did. But at least one of them is that I initially started with a 7-month contract, and he only offered to extend me for 2 months. And he liked me. I was one of the well-liked people on the team. Did a lot of different things outside of just software development. I did like English proofreading and translation, and like quite a bit of stuff. Like, but that's normal in startups because you don't have that many people. So like, you end up having like to do multiple things. And I was one of the guys that was in charge of UI as well. Generally, I get to like review that kind of stuff from other things, but I was generally liked. But he only gave me 2 months extension, even though I was generally liked. So you can kind of view what type of company that kind of is. Like, he's not gonna give me a raise. He didn't give me a raise for those 2 months either. So it's like, I have a treasure trove of stories I've told on stream before, but I'm down to tell you again. It's always a pleasure to talk about it, though. It's kind of funny looking back. It sucked at the time, but it's funny now. Once in a while, I'll look online to see if their site's still up, to see if it's gone out of business. It's essentially, I don't think that if he doesn't change, I don't think that company's gonna survive. His business online. Yeah, it's more. Nothing explained the way that he was. The work environment, bro. It's so bad. Not fit, like both physically and mentally, generally. Although it was more mental than physical, honestly. What he was doing. Oh, sorry, more mental than physical, I think. Yeah, anyway, so I did that for 7 months. Let me know if you're interested in the stories or whatever you want me to yap about something. But did that, and then I was very lucky in the sense that I The company I think that I currently work for basically has a, as most big companies do, they have a new grad program where they try to intake new graduates. So like the interview process is slightly accelerated because they don't expect you to know a lot. You're not quote unquote external hire. But of course there is still some things to do. It's just like a different set of requirements and whatnot because you're just fresh out of college. So the new grad program, the way it works was that you're eligible to be technically still new grad as long as you graduated within the last year. So after I finished that in quote unquote internship, I was really just a junior developer position at a startup company. I was paid minimum wage, but I worked full time, so I still made money, but it was not a lot. So yeah, did that. So I still qualified. So I tried it again. So I already tried it straight out of uni. I already tried it to be hired through that process once. I didn't get any reply. Like didn't get anywhere basically with my application. Second time around, the only thing that changed was like the extra internship slash junior developer job at this startup company that I added to my resume. I got a response and everything went through. Praise the Lord and all that kind of stuff. Really blessed on that side. A lot of luck involved, for sure. Very fortunate. It got through. So then I knew in. So I think my contract with the startup company, I started in like September, and then 7 months. I think I ended up around March. Was my last month there, and then April rolled around. And I remember April Fool's being my first day off work. So, and then I kind of went through the interview process. And I received a reply kind of in, I like to say May, whatever. And then I kind of delayed it. Maybe June. I don't know if I remember. I think maybe it was June, like in May, and then you could start as early as June, or even end of May. And I was like, nah, give me like my last summer. So I started in August. Basically like took full advantage of like the 1 year limit of the new grad programs. I got in pretty luckily. So yeah, that's where I'm working now. So as much as it is to hate on the work environment and hate on the company that I worked for, that's what made a difference. That gave me the second time around. Got me the interview and got me into the job, so all of it was very lucky. It take for you to get your second job? No, so like technically, so that's how I say is like I didn't actually do any internship. How long it took? Yeah, so yeah, as I said, I started the interview process kind of in, I want to say like January or something, whenever, I don't remember when that program starts. Like you just sign up online and they give them the resume or whatever. I just know that there was some like online test stuff, like assessment stuff that you have to do that I did while I was still on the job. I think I was on like in like February. There was like an assessment I did over the weekend. There's like an in-person interview thing that I did kind of in March, I think. Whatever. So like in total, it took me from graduation. I graduated like April, mid-April, late April. And then got my startup job in September. And then 7 months there, and then got the second job, my current job. Like started interviewing for that in like February of the next year. Got through that after like a month and a half or two. Because like there's like 2 assessments separated by like 2 weeks, and then you have to get like an actual interview. At least that's the process for me. There's like a fast track, slow track stuff, but it's not super important. But like, and then could have started the job in June and then delayed it to August. Yeah, of the next year after I graduated. Not bad, honestly. Went from the bottom of the food chain to the top, essentially. I'm not gonna complain. Infinitely grateful. D2 day class, I can use this one. Perfect. Might be 25, 27. I'm not gonna say. I haven't revealed anything, and I am within the range of 20 to 40. I'll say that. Never confirmed. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I worked harder than everybody else. I generally don't put like I'm not a hard Sigma grind set, whatever. I didn't do that. I didn't wake up every morning and like, I know there's like people that spend way more time than me on like, I think there's guys on TikTok or whatever online that they send like over thousands of job applications and whatever. I didn't do that. I just like hopped on. I was degenning while I couldn't find work, and like sometimes I get bursts where I like go online and go on the website, job sites, and sign up for maybe 10, 11, 12 jobs at once. I maybe do this like once every 2 weeks or so. But I tell my mom that I've been doing it every day. Actually, no, I did it at least like once or twice a week. But like, not every time is gonna be like 10, 11 jobs, right? It's like probably like 5 or 5. Where you kind of just scroll through and look at what's available, and then sometimes you'll have some that are good, and you'll have new job listings. So then it's like maybe 2, 3 each time. But yeah. So I'm not gonna say I put in more. I probably put in more effort, like than above average effort, but not like grinding people effort. People that like stay up all night and stuff like that. I will definitely attribute it to being like quite lucky, circumstances wise, and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's fair to give myself that much credit. Plus, at the end of the day, the university I graduated from is not like a well-known one. So it's actually surprising. Looking at getting to work, and then everybody has like a lot of people that I work with had a master's and like from a well-known university in Canada. Like some of them had like Waterloo University, like UBC, UT, you know. And then I'm just a guy with a no-name uni with just a bachelor's in there. So anything's possible, but I definitely attribute a lot of it to the sort of luck factor, timing factor, or whatever. Hey, welcome back, Madeline. Obvious 20 to 40. Yeah, that's good range, no? Hope you have luck like me. I hope so. I hope so as well for you. I hope it's luck, and you have the luck, you have the, but like also you have to be ready, right? Like if I didn't get like the luck and all that kind of stuff was like got me the interview, but I had to qualify. So you have to be ready for whenever the luck hits. So like do as much as you can, and I think that it seems like you are as you're researching and asking all these questions. So you're off to a good start. At least from what I could tell. Talking to you through stream, but best of luck though. I gotta focus a little bit because of this is unbeatable. Time to do some carrying here. Margin to win right now is too small. No way, you guys are bumping each other off the bridge right now. Okay. Should be good to go here. As long as we're top 3, we win. Because we had 6 players, as long as half the players are top leading, then we're good to go. We win. Cool. Good stuff. Harry. Pablo. University doesn't really matter that much. No, it does. I just got lucky. Again, it's one of the things. Like, try to get us into a decent university, big name, because, like, a lot of it is... It helps you get the interview, right? Like, they look at your CV, like, if you graduate from a well-known university, it's automatically gonna... Even if they say that they're not biased towards that, that you are biased towards that. Like, people looking at the CV. You get the interview during that. Of course, you still have to back it up just because you have a good university. If you just graduated with like a C or D or whatever, and you don't have the skills, then they'll find out in the interview, right? But give yourself the best chance you can, right? So don't just say it's like, oh, the university doesn't matter, I'm not gonna go to university, or I'll go to a crappy one. Like, all of it is important, like is a factor, right? Try as much as you can, or as much as you're willing. Like, I definitely like didn't procrastinated a lot and all that kind of stuff, so I won't say that I put 100% effort, but yeah, just be ready as much as possible and do what you can or you want to as much as possible within your means. Just prep, right? Worst case, I think it's like even worse, right? Like in the sense, if you lucked into everything, right? You weren't ready and you still got rejected at the end, bro, that stings, man. That must hurt. It's like, oh, you got the interviews and like everybody hopes that you get, that everybody hopes to get, right? And then you didn't get hired, or like you just, not getting hired isn't like a huge deal, honestly. There's just so many candidates, but it's like if you know you bombed the interview, that's like so bad, you know what I mean? Bro, what are you doing? It's okay, because I like the LFA engine sound, so I can kind of sit here listening to it. Okay. Well. What the? What are you breaking there, man? Educated YouTuber? There's other educated people on the internet. That's above average at best, likely. Kind of confused. I should take a drop year for a better college or just go whatever. I would say don't do the drop year unless you have like some really big motivation to do it. Worst case scenario, I think what you should do is like try to get into uni regardless, because I think a gap like that, unless you're doing some type of work experience or whatever for the year, yeah, even that is kind of tough. Unless it's like, okay, it kind of depends on this. Like if you're gonna hard grind in that like drop year, like maybe you do a bunch of like community, if you're doing software engineering specifically, but like then I don't know other fields if you can do something similar, but like if you or maybe like in engineering or something, what you do for that year, you do some big project, right? Like you do potentially, like if you're doing engineering, you start going like community and you like have an engineering project in like your local community or whatever. And then the same way, like for software engineering, if you start doing like a community, start contributing to like an open source something, or you hard grind and create something yourself, then I kind of see it, because it could be relevant. You can show it on your like first on your college acceptance or whatever. Then you have like you might get accepted into a better college, and then outside of that, you can like still bring that project up, where for like keep it in your CV and it'll look good in your job interview. Unless you're like hard grinding like that, then I wouldn't recommend it, because the whole gap would be like kind of a question mark for HR when they like look at your CV. It's like, why'd you take a gap year? What's the point? And you're not gonna be there to explain that. Oh yeah, I'm just doing this so I could get into a better uni or something. At least that's like, and that's my mom's opinion. My mom used to work in HR, but she was HR at the bank, so. But generally I wouldn't recommend it, and personally I wouldn't, like if I was looking at a CV and suddenly there's a gap year, I wonder why that would be the case. So I would recommend that what you should be doing instead is to get into any university you can, and then if you still want to go for a better university, it's even better, because then like the gap year, you transfer out to a better university. Like that's always an option. Yeah, you might lose like some credits, because not all credits will transfer or whatever, but like first year generally is okay. I would try for that instead. Because gap year looks weird to like universities as well sometimes. It's like, what are you doing this gap year for? But at least that's like gut instinct wise would be what I would tell you. If you're like struggling between the two, that would be my recommendation, is to like just get into like, even if it's like a community college or something. Some people like do 2 years and then they leave. I had like a friend that did this at my university, where I think she started initially at a good university, either flunked out or like really burned out from it, so transferred to the one I went to, got like another year or two or whatever, and then transferred back to finish her degree there at the original university, like a bigger name at the engineering program or something. Ended up like that. Of course, like she wasted money in a sense, because every transfer is not one-to-one, so you'll like lose some courses, you're not fulfilling everything, but it's still good, you know. So you can, everything there is possible. Like I would take that option over taking a full gap year, and then just go for the extra university, like a better university, try for like transfer of a better university later. I treat this drop year as mostly taken to crack that exam to get best. Oh, okay. There's an exam. Okay, there's a public standardized exam, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's also like, in the environment you're hiring, or like where you grew up, or you live in right now, if like the gap year or the drop year is customary, then it's okay, I would say. If everybody does it, you know what I mean? Of course, if you do like whatever, if you don't take it, then technically you could stand out and say like, oh, I still passed it without taking it, the extra year off or whatever. So your local community, especially if you're trying to get hired in your local area or in the places in your country. If you start considering like international hiring, then it could still be a question mark, but it depends on how much you trust them, knowing that your education system, like bigger companies will probably understand. Smaller companies might not understand that like your country is generally, a lot of people do the drop year, you know? Their first try. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not your choice, right? If you didn't get it on your first try. I know my friend did this, where it's like, I grew up in Hong Kong, and there's like a standardized exam there as well to get into universities, and he didn't get into any of the Hong Kong universities. I mean, it's fairly normal because there's just not enough. The place is super small, but there's not enough universities to go around for the amount of students that come out. And he eventually just ended up going to Australia for his education, and he's doing just fine now. Yeah, I can see that, like not getting anywhere with the exam and try again, or go elsewhere. But I think, can you not just like take the first exam and be like, see what that gets you, and then decide whether you want to fully gap or get to another university or something? You don't have to necessarily decide right now you're gonna take the gap year, you know what I mean? It's like, just if you fail, then you, or quote unquote, then you have to decide whether you want to gap or whether you want to go to a university that doesn't care that you didn't make it, or you didn't have good results from the exam. Wait, when did I put 100 Thieves on this car? What the frick? How did that happen? Is this a livery? Did I choose this livery? I don't think so. Is this like a gift car? Oh. I don't think so either. Anyway. Alright, anyway, that's gonna be it for today's stream. It's fun. I got through the whole playlist, I think. Let me check. Yes. But yeah, I generally want to stream 2 hours a day. 2 hours. Cross that as well. Yeah, so that's gonna be it. Been great chatting with everybody. Thanks once again. Special thanks to Madeline233 earlier for the follow. Hope to see you around. Great chatting with you, Xenox, and thank you earlier to Levi for playing with me. Although, and then Night Riders just dropped out. Couldn't figure out how to add me as a friend, I think. But maybe I'll see him tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with some more Forza. Gonna be playing some open racing and stuff like that. Score good enough into the year. Also get wasted. I would say, like, wouldn't you want to attempt it immediately and then see if you pass? And if you do well, then you don't even have to take the gap year in the first place. Are you saying you're not even gonna attempt it the first time? Anyway, sorry. I'm not gonna try and drag this conversation on. I need to sleep. It's almost 2:30 a.m. I got work, unfortunately. But we can talk again this time. Your game time? Oh, no, I love talking. This is how I'm not purely talking, but I love discussing and chatting with stream. That's the whole point of streaming, right? I could be playing this by myself, but that's boring. And like, it's not like it affected anything. I kind of envisioned this kind of like a podcast type thing where like the games is just the background really, and then I can discuss whatever topics chat brings up. Politics. Actually, yeah, I just want to kind of avoid politics at this time. But car talk, any talk, gaming, video game talk, all that kind of stuff is cool. Tech talk, job talk, all that stuff. But yeah, with that said, hope you guys have a great rest of the day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you guys are from. Just have a great day in general. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, all that good stuff. Bye. More Forza tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some open racing. All right, see you guys. Bye.